Back to serve for the Ramblers, 16, Schobel. The lefty delivers, and we're underway in Chicago. Locked back in, picked up. Trying to push through, and that's going to be a tool for Ohio State. They get the first point of this evening.
Putnam with a nice job playing the ball off the hands of Van Buren to score the first point here in this match.
Serving now for OSU out of Boston. Back set, getting the height down, ricocheted. Poole picking up the pieces. Not able to get there, good job. Just kind of finding the gap, didn't have to put much behind it, but alone in the back row is Jake Reed.
Gonna see defense on display tonight from both teams. I mean, both teams have really good offenses, but in order to win this match, you're gonna have to play solid defense.
Oh, not able to handle that. Oakley, that one goes back into the dressing area. Quick start now for Ohio State. Another point or two. Might see Coach Hawks have to use a timeout. Talk me through the methodology, Ray, of an early start, when you call a timeout or when not.
Well, ideally, you're trying to keep runs down as much as you possibly can. So now you see a 4-point run for Ohio State early in this first set. Might see a timeout, like you said.
Not saying we predicted it, but again, when you hit to 4, that early on ranked opponent, need to take a breather. We'll take one, too, when we come back. Continuation of set number 1 right here on ESPN Plus and NBC Sports Chicago.
If your team won the last time you ordered toppers, order the exact same thing again. If your team lost, that's their fault. Don't beat yourself up. You did everything you could. Plus the refs were terrible.
Can't not have toppers.
Today will be tough, but that is our strength. Because if you're fighting cancer, our doctors, researchers, technologies, and treatments fight back even harder. If your lungs or heart fail you, our people won't. We're leaders in lung transplants and heart and vascular care. Whatever you're facing, we'll find a way. Loyola Medicine. When things are at their worst, we're at our best.
A recent study, funded by Toppers, found a direct correlation between ordering Toppers on game day and your team's chances of winning. Stats don't lie. Can't not have Toppers.
Welcome back. A quick lead. Looking at Birch, 5th season as head coach.
Yeah, see their staff there for Ohio State. Kevin Birch has done a real nice job taking over for Pete Hansen and continuing to build the program. At one point, and you'll see the parity going on on the national scene. Ohio State was number 1 at one point, doing a real nice job.
Once again, Jake Reed not able to get there in time. What is working so well, Ray, for the Buckeyes this early on?
Well, it starts right now with the serving of Putnam. He's done a really good job putting pressure on the Ramblers, which leads to more opportunistic situations for Ohio State.
And you take a point any way you can. Putnam puts it into the net. Ramblers get their first point.
So now it's really for the Ramblers to work on trying to settle themselves down. Ohio State has their premier attacker and passer on the outside.
A return by Poole. The back set, tip going to be called. Another point for the Buckeyes. For Loyola Chicago, it's their 4th straight and 9th ranked match thus far this season. Tonight, my goodness, that's an early gauntlet.
Ohio State puts themselves in that position because they know that they need to be playing those kind of top teams to be on the national scene.
Using the full length of the net. Reed able to deliver on the far side. Nice set, Ray, utilizing the whole length of the net.
Yeah, the Ramblers have a good stable of our setters this year. And Schobel's in there right now doing a really good job. Has been seeming to run the offense at a pretty nice rate.
Off the double, trying to retreat, able to get a hand out is Favakovic. Reed gets it blocked back, out of play. Good job with the tool. Ramblers starting to get a little bit of a groove.
So you see, again, it's really based on the defense of both teams. That time, a real nice job by Favakovic to play the ball from the air. Schobel plays it high outside to Reed, who hits it off the block to score.
Back set, oh, boy. 10-foot line, monster kill for the Buckeyes.
See Putnam coming out of the back row on the Bic. And again, both teams will have variety in their offense. The goal is to try to attack balls and gaps. See, D. Meyer was going with the middle from Ohio State. And led to the open space for Ohio State to score.
Down to a knee, nice set near side. Poked up, left hand Schobel. Net violation called against Ohio State. Looked like Pasture just creeped a little bit close to the net.
Yeah, I think here it's on the outside, on the right side blocker. And a situation you'll kind of see, it's happened a couple of times right now, will be the Van Buren-Pasture matchup.
Oh, nice job getting under to Oakley. Left hand swing. You know what? Why not? Schobel, 6-1. The Mater Dei destroyer just brings it with the left.
Normally, you're not in a situation where you want to have the setter take care of any swings.
Yeah.
Looks like Coach Birch right now is going to challenge the pancake from Oakley. And so...
Yeah, I believe so. Officials already, getting an early start on the fun here this evening.
Right, so we're going to see Barb Zvonek. So it looks like the ball's going to stand.
Yeah, anything. There's nothing we particularly saw that would overturn that by any stretch.
Correct.
So, you've been on both sides, pre-review and post-review, both, whether it be commentating or coaching. I'm a fan. How did you feel about that transition?
I think it's great because it takes away some of the gamesmanship in the volley. Where players or coaches can just allow the players to play.
Okay. Still in play. Swinging it down Pasture. Not happy about it, but my goodness, what an effort by Van Buren.
Again, you've seen a few long rallies in this match. This will eventually settle down into some pretty solid volleyball, but right now there's good battles going on with both teams using their defense to put themselves in a spot to score points.
Pasture, the outside hitting senior out of Westminster, Maryland. That one stays in. Pasture with the ace. On the season, 11 aces for Pasture, so make that number 12.
Yeah, Pasture's been clocked. And in Columbus, it's serving balls at 80 miles an hour.
That's it?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a volleyball. So
yeah. It is. My goodness, that one hits the tape. So Loyola content with a 1-for-1 deal.
Yeah, what Loyola doesn't want to do is go through these stretches where there's multiple point runs. They want to try to do their best to side out as quickly as they possibly can and then earn those points back.
Pass over the middle. Dean Meyer getting there second, still alive. Oakley. Oh, beautiful up by Pasture. Tip called, potentially.
Looks like it's long.
They're saying Loyola's going to come away with it. Coach Birch. So talk me through that as well, Ray. Coach Birch, he went over, 3 Buckeyes kind of huddled in front of him. He shrugged his shoulders. He said, okay, you rely on the players.
100%.
Okay.
100%. Another ace there from Reed. Reed continues his hot hand from the serving line. Probably one of the most consistent servers for Loyola. Does a really nice job. He doesn't necessarily do it with a lot of pace, but he for sure does it with consistency and good precision.
Oh my goodness, just a missile. Jake Reed taking the blame for that one, but truly, Ray, it just split the uprights.
Yeah, really good pass there from Ohio State, leading to Howard on the quick to score.
Taking his time, Howard, I mean, he is well behind that back line. Floats it in. Back tip over. Schobel again showing his awareness, Ray, right at the net.
Oakley knows now when he plays balls to Schobel, when Schobel's in the front row, to play the ball a little bit higher, a little bit tighter, so then he can go up and either set the ball or turn and swing. That time he dumps it behind his head in area 4.
Left hand trying to bring it down. Not able to get there in time is Van Buren. A lot of freshmen getting playing time, Ray, for Loyola. What's it like coaching newbies and trying to get them used to the system quickly and being contributors?
Well, ideally, the best players are going to play.
Okay.
So whether they're going to be first-year players or experienced players. And the Ramblers you see out there right now, you don't know, they don't look like they're freshmen when they play.
Off the triple block. Pasture from the back row. Back set. Oh, nice job right at the net. Cole Young, the pride of Powell, Ohio, able to drop that one 12-6.
Yeah, the block. The Ramblers are usually one of the more physical teams in the league, if not the country. And they're going to be matched up with a similar team here tonight in Ohio State.
So 2-0, Loyola already using their first timeout. Let's see if another point or two. Nope, not going to need one there. Coach Hawks, always so cool, calm, and collected.
You've got to be stable right now, both sides.
Yeah.
You know, again, it's still early in the match, but you've seen a lot of runs on both sides. You're going to see what Ohio State does if they stay close. They still use the quick or use the big to pasture.
Out of play off that middle block, not happy about it is Van Buren. Van Buren's been pretty hard on himself today, but again, it's not for lack of effort. Just it's the way it's bouncing.
Just the matchup.
Yep.
And, you know, and there's guys want to be able to perform at the highest level possible. The Ramblers got stuck before in this rotation.
Nice pass falling away. Hey, able to pull it down right at the feet of Ben Putnam. Not able to do anything with it. I mean, right at the shoelaces.
All right, so now you get a chance to see the matchup here, Van Buren and Pasture on the outside.
Actually showed Poole trying to get a hand on it, but not much you can do in its perfect placement.
Young, the middle for Ohio State, so very athletic and physical.
Reed trying for the joust. That's on the near side. Double block. Ramblers say thank you. Next, all smiles for 18, Jimmy Meinhardt.
Plattfoot thought he had an opportunity to set in the middle to Young. Looked like they were going to have a joust, and miscommunication led to a swing from Plattfoot and get the stuff block for Loyola.
A service error for Fabikovic out of the Czech Republic.
So again, the matchup is still there between Van Buren and Pasture.
Cole Young now to deliver. Slim 2-point lead for the Buckeyes. Set using the full length of the net. They actually go for it, so Ohio State get the point anyway. All smiles, bringing the pain. Jacob Pasture.
That's a big swing from Pasture. Takes that ball high, sharp and inside.
I mean, what can you do? Well, if you're Loyola, do you I mean, you can't put 4 at the line, so.
No, I mean, sometimes in those situations you can put another set of hands up there, but,
okay.
But Pasture's so experienced and so talented.
Not able to get there. Mishandle at the line by Meinhardt.
You might see another timeout here from Loyola.
Yes, there's a conversation happening now with Coach Burge, but I think Coach Hawks, no, he's going to let it play on.
Yeah, the block was tight, and I think Plattfoot went down that spot. They're looking to see if the player, you know, if Reed came under in that situation.
Out of play, good job. Nice communication in the back row by Matt Oakley. That's got to be so hard, Ray, to communicate. All right, is it shoulder up? Is it waist up? Is it numbers up? How do you kind of look at that?
A lot of communication. You know, a lot of times you're trying to see where you are on the court, ideally with either direct or indirect vision, and then direct or indirect communication.
Meinhardt can't deliver. Lead still sits at 4 for the home Buckeyes. Thank you for joining us on NBC Sports Chicago. Plattfoot. Reed goes far side with the line. That stays in. Really got a good rotation on that thumb down, Ray, on that far pin.
For sure. And one thing to mention, as you see Truby coming in now for the Ramblers, kind of a blocking specialist. We've also seen him come in to serve. This is the Ramblers' first conference match at home.
Yes.
And with the young team, maybe it's a little different to kind of get the feeling, understanding with how important this match is.
High up by Oakley. Near side checks in. didn't snap the wrist enough. Truby didn't get the touch as all. And see, I don't want to say that's a deficit of being almost 7 foot tall, but if you don't get it down, I mean, that's going to say it.
I think it's more a product of the fact that's his first swing coming in a little cold. And now the Ramblers go to the 6-2 where they put in McElligott to also set Truby in these spots. And the combination of McElligott and Truby, that connection's worked pretty well so far for the Ramblers this year.
Running it down, McElligott. Oh, nice awareness. Shane Wetzel out of Lake Mary, Florida, just doing a stellar job, eyeing the court, seeing where the gap is, taking advantage. Timeout on the court. We'll take it with them. Buckeyes lead by 5, 19-14. Actually, we're going to keep it here as we look again.
It's the situation where the Ramblers right now look just kind of not as confident, you know, with the first contact as they necessarily have to be used all the time.
Yeah.
For Ohio State, they have balance. There's some players on their team that can do some pretty good things. But when push comes to shove, especially in a situation like Wednesday when they played against Lewis, I mean, Pasture came to play.
I always like to call it the coach's point right out of the timeout. The opposing team gets the point. It happens a lot with reviews as too. I know it might be a superstitious thing, Ray, but maybe just a little stitious.
For sure. This is a big spot for the Ramblers to try to go on a run.
Oh, still alive. The ball bounced the way of the Ramblers. But falling away is Oakley. His momentum was kind of bit to the right, so it came left, stuck out the right forearm, wasn't able to make good enough contact.
And in case you didn't know, that first swing from Pasture came out of the back row.
Yeah, look at this. Woo!
Kind of a pinball style on that, and still kept the rally going.
Well, you got to appreciate the effort for Loyola, just, you know, being in the right position, knowing, hey, if it comes my way, I'll be as ready as possible. Back set. Good up by Plattfoot. Set right where he was. Out of play, no touch. Oh, they are saying the Buckeyes, they do indeed get the touch. Okay, so again, line said, you know, called the in and out, which is fine, but R1 saw the touch.
Yeah, off of Fabakovic that time. No complaints from the Ramblers.
4 points away from set 1 victory are the visiting Buckeyes. Good up in the back row by Pasture. No touch called. Ramblers come away with the point.
Tooney did a good job for Ohio State coming in as a serving specialist, getting a chance to serve twice. Scored a point for Ohio State. And Ohio State's really not in Loyola's not in a spot right now where they can trade points.
Ramblers needing some 2-for-1 deals this Friday evening. Whew. Cole Young. That is we had a discussion this week for those at home. We always try to talk to both coaches, and we had some great talks. And Coach Birch saying how fast his team hits. But my goodness, from the screen to in person, it's just another level. Set to the middle left hand, too far, no touch.
You just kind of see it either looks tense or just not in comfort yet for Loyola.
Wetzel now 3 kills, a dig and a block. And he has the serve. Nice back set. Oh, good up by Truby. All set up by the great set over the middle. Kind of had me fooled a bit. Came near side with it. Buckeyes couldn't adjust fast
Most
enough.
definitely. And where this is now a good spot for the Ramblers, where they kind of have, you know, a good situation where they have Truby, and they can also use Schobel to serve.
Over the middle, and just angled it in a way that Ramblers couldn't quite get there. They were a bit far pinned. They came near pin. We're at set 1 point for the Buckeyes here in Chicago.
So the story of this set's been the ability for Ohio State to run the quick and put pressure on the Ramblers with the quick.
Out of play, so Ramblers still alive in set number 1. Trying to get a little bit of momentum. They may not come away with victory in set 1, but can they rally a few points here? Get a little bit of leverage back in their favor. Fabakovic delivers with the right, touches the tape. Palming it down, Cole Young delivering the final blow for set number 1. 25-18 is the way this set will end. When we come back, set number 2 action. Buckeyes lead 1-0 over the Ramblers on NBC Sports Chicago.
$1 Million Whopper contest.
Chicago swing with Lewis and Loyola.
Sure.
And getting a win in Romeoville tonight, it's a big deal.
Yeah. I like how you called them the Road Warriors. Are we talking Hawk and Animal from old 80s wrestling? What a rush. From the 10-foot line, way up, hits the Caputo sign.
So already a good start for the Ramblers.
Yeah, for those that don't know, there is a scoreboard over center court for the basketball side of things. It has been, kind of amended, though, in recent times. Used to be a little bit lower, but nonetheless, if you're Loyola, this is the start you wanted in set number 2.
Most definitely. And, it's kind of funny when you look at the two teams, and just in general for sports, right? They're going to be similar teams. They're going to have similar styles. Like, if you're playing basketball, there might be a team that plays zone and one team plays man-to-man, so on and so forth. In this, both teams like to work from the middle on the outside to the outside. So you're going to see, the quick and the big a lot when teams are in system. Or if you're Ohio State, you have pasture and you can go up and score.
So how do you handle it knowing that, it's the same team? It's a mirror image almost of yourself in that style. Both these coaches respect each other so much. I mean, 2 of the best in the NCAA, we already know that. But how do you kind of prepare for it? It's like I said, it's like playing the scout team, but playing themselves.
It is. And so, but the scout team is usually not as talented as the team on the other side. But there are some similarities. What you have to do now is use your training and your discipline. The hardest part is when Ohio State established the middle right away, it's hard for the Ramblers not to commit in the middle.
Nice set from the 10-foot line.
Better touch that time for the Ramblers.
Oh, nice up from the back row for the Buckeyes.
Great set.
The double. Poole keeping the rally going. Long rally here. That just stays in. Shane Wenzel delivers.
And again, you just see really good defense on both sides. Ohio State laying out for balls, putting themselves in a spot where they can get swings on the ball, not necessarily just a dig to get it up and to play it. I mean, it's they're digging the ball up in the air so the ball can get set and there's a swing. We'll kind of call it a defensive struggle right on both sides. But right now Ohio State has the better of the share of those long rallies where they're able to find a way to score in transition.
Oh, mishandled, just rolled off the thumbs of Oakley. Maybe took his eyes off it a bit too early. See where to go with it. But just like that, Buckeyes tied it at 3 apiece.
We talk about the first contact again, and so for the Ramblers, they know it's going to be a jump float here from flat foot. They step up, they're going to use their hands. And that time, unfortunately, just went through the hands of Oakley and led to the ace. Or the serving winner, excuse me.
So back to serve is Dean Meyer, the junior out of Franklin, Wisconsin. Again, we talked about, early on in this contest, just the different role Dean Meyer is having. You got to appreciate, though, that he buys into it because that's not always the easiest thing to say, okay, you're going to have a different role now this season, and making the adjustment and accepting it.
Yeah, most definitely. You see a net error that time looks like from Wetzel on the outside.
Throughout your coaching career, Ray, talk to me through what it's like having that conversation with a player when the role is going to change, I should say.
For anybody, right? If you get an opportunity, it's, whether it's you get a chance to do it for a limited period of time, a modified period of time, or an extended period of time, you've got to understand, accept and execute. That's really what it comes down to. And I think, Coach Hawks does a really good job with guys, whether, they really can understand it or not, they do a good job of knowing it's for the good of the team. We've seen so many combinations from the Ramblers this year, even just at home, and that doesn't match the number of combinations we've seen on the road. And it helps this team. It has a good teamwork, good camaraderie, and it helps provide them really good depth.
Much different set here in 2 than it was in 1. That one floats over. Left hand, down and kill, or they're calling it.
There might be a challenge on this one.
Yeah, so talk me through it, Ray. It looks like there's not going to be a challenge.
No.
I mean, point was down anyway, but it looks like they're saying it. I believe they're claiming it hit the sign, but
yeah.
Nonetheless, they still would have gotten the kill, so no harm, no foul, I guess. Near side. Nice block back. Look at that aggression. Fabikovic says, welcome to the block party.
See the Ramblers now doing a better job from the serving line, putting pressure on the serve. Ball was handled still really well.
Yeah.
And it was a really nice move that time for Fabikovic on the block back behind.
Van Buren now with the compression on his right leg, hits off the tape. Just a 1 set over the middle. Excited about that one was Justin Howard out of the Pacific Palisades of California. He now is back to serve.
So you see the Buckeyes continue to use Quick and Vic.
That could be on a t-shirt. Floater for Howard. Almost delivers. Oh, man. Talk to me through that sequence, Ray. I mean, a float serve really threw Loyola off, and able to take advantage of it was Wetzel on that near side.
Yeah, it seems to be kind of the trouble right now for the Ramblers is the jump float. Whether it's the pace of it, the location of it.
There's that left hand again. The lethal lefty, Cole Schobel, delivers the thunder dump over the middle.
And it's pretty easy to see when the Ramblers handle first contact, they do a pretty good job. I think that ball was easily settable for Schobel, but you've seen how offensive he's been tonight and also throughout the year.
Back set, left hand down.
Watch for Bick.
Oh, coming through. You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain. Jake sends him out to pasture.
Again, you can see it brewing. If you put the offensive coordinator hat on, you just kind of see how the play builds and what's available. And it's really hard for blockers to stay in and have multiple blockers on the Bick.
Oh, right at about the 7-foot line. Ramblers, at least this set, Ray, they have an answer. That didn't really happen much in set 1, but set 2, blow for blow.
Yeah, nice job by Schobel. Going up and showing like he was going to swing. Drew 2 blockers, 4 hands. They would set the back set to Meinhardt to score.
Locked back, hits off the right shoulder. Delivering the killer, the Ramblers. And this may be a timeout soon for Coach Birch.
Might see it here pretty soon. I'm going to make sure I'm double checking. That was the first attempt to a quick hitter tonight for Loyola, for the Ramblers.
That one out of play. Don't believe there's a touch.
We'll probably see a timeout here.
Another one for the Ramblers. And Coach Birch going to call that timeout. Who is it blending in freshmen? Because I know it's a different challenge with every freshman you have coming in, but it's the old adage, they're freshmen, but they play at a sophomore level right now.
Well, and even more so there. Big swing from Young as Ohio State continues to really push the quick as much as they possibly can. But, being able to bring players together to kind of build a team is I think one of the more fun parts of coaching. The X's and O's are a part, but getting a team to get together, I think, is really important.
What were some fun team bonding activities? Did you ever do like a ropes course?
Done that.
Yoga classes?
Done that.
I'm sure maybe some DJ sessions.
The teams I've been a part of, we've gone to different places. Being out west, the western area, bringing people to the city. Taking them on different trips, some different experiences. I mean, what you want to try to do is keep it as fresh as you possibly can. but it also it has purpose to it.
Sure. I mean, I know you've been overseas multiple times. Were those ever team trips?
We did it, yeah.
Okay.
I've been a part with the team before to do
Okay.
that, and that's another bonding experience, which is tremendous. And,
Yeah.
you know, everything has to kind of fit right, but when it does, it's a really great experience.
Well, you know, we're going to talk into existence if, you know, any Rambler Ohio State team goes and plays overseas in a scrimmage, they can take us with.
For sure. I'll carry water. I'll do whatever.
Play at the net. Loyola's going to get the point. 4 hits going to be called. That's a good call.
Yeah, and a smart play by D. Meyer. The ball was tight to the net. Meyer could have gone up and jousted.
Yeah.
Could have had a joust up there in that situation with Howard, but instead it took his hands back. When Howard made that contact, that was the 4th contact for Ohio State.
One thing to keep in mind for Loyola, they're hitting .323 coming into the game, and that sets the pace in the MIVA conference right now, and I think that says a lot, including D. Meyer, #Let's Go, Ramblers dominating set number 2.
You see for both teams right now, the serve ends up having a big factor. Talked about the Pasture-Van Buren matchup. You saw that on display. Ball was out of system. The block was just better than the swing in that spot.
Trying to bring it back in play. Pasture delivers. D. Meyer keeps it alive.
Great up there by Oakley.
Flying in with the greatest of ease. What a big kill for the Buckeyes.
Then using the quick and big to their advantage for Ohio State. And you see Pasture involved, right? Where Pasture's going to get set. We know that. But a lot of times for Ohio State, when they really want to find positive, they use it quick and the big to their advantage.
Nice play on the near side. Shane Wenzel keeping the Buckeyes alive in set number 2. You know, they need a little bit of a run. I'm assuming what you're going to say, Ray, is it's got to be as quick as possible here in set number 2.
Well, I think right now it's just for Loyola. This is the long part now. We talked about the fast and slow. This is where the slow comes in of being able to play a long set. If they're able to accelerate it right now with stuff blocks and aces, that's great. But being able to side out forever is always going to be one of the staples for volleyball. And a lot of times it usually starts with a good first contact.
Last time these two teams met here was Feb the 18th of last year. Ramblers did defeat Ohio State in that one. And we're going to have a second timeout. Coach Birch wants to talk things over. We're going to keep it here. Let's go on the flip side. Coach Hawks, set 1, trailed for most of the set. Again, that was a 25-18 victory for the Buckeyes. What has been the overall difference in set number 2, Ray? Not to be big picture, but I mean, something's going right.
Well, in a word, it's positive right now for Loyola. And really, Loyola they're not playing at the level they want to play. I don't know if any team thinks that they're playing at the level they want to play right now. How high they're attacking the ball, so the ball goes downward, and then you're going to try to temper out like your speed, so the ball doesn't go flying out of bounds. And you see something similar is D. Meyer on his serve there.
Block back. Good hands, Ray. Good touch. Good touch. You even got a thumbs up by Coach Birch for that.
That's the best touch I've had in a long time.
Just like the old days in those colors.
Boy, I tell you, if they have a 50 and older league, well, please let me know.
Was your jersey similar to what these guys are wearing?
No.
Okay.
The Mizuno shorts were 3-inch inseam, I feel, and the rest we don't need to talk about.
Okay.
It's a family show. We're okay. But now you see again fast point from Ohio State with Pasture on the ace, and you know, in the rally score, you're never too far ahead, never too far behind, and that's up to work on trying to find some impact players to help out.
Over the middle. Bang. Ramblers get that coach's point.
Talking with Coach Hawks how he's wanted to have more quick involved for his team to get more balance. Now you've seen, I think, a set each. Let me double check my numbers here. Reinhardt now with his second attempt, 2 for 2.
There's that quick again. That was at the net. So kind of mixing things up on where that attack comes in, but rotationally speaking, good play by the Buckeyes.
Yeah. Howard's had a really nice match tonight for Ohio State. Done a really nice job out of the quick. But really a lot of that comes from his connection with Plattfoot, and also the first contact for the Buckeyes.
Kyle Tooney, a Downers Grove product out of Timothy Christian, in for the serve. That one stays in. Not much that back row could do for the Buckeyes. I mean, it just fell right at their feet.
That's easily the best rhythm play for the Ramblers here tonight. Really great first contact. Really nice job handled. Nice tempo and location for Van Buren to get on that ball and score it.
You know, if you look at Cole Young was trying to slide in late to join that block party. What adjustments can you make in that point?
Well, they're expecting the quick.
Okay.
You see the quick here, maybe you see a fast set there. Nice job by Wetzel to come in and score. Like, both teams are going to anticipate that the ball's going to be set in the middle of the court. If you took like a box and lined it up around the middle of the court, you know, that's where the ball's going to be attacked from offensively.
And Ohio State had its first MEVA win of the season, beating Lindenwood in 4. Buckeyes were led by 4 in double figures: Hurley, Young, Pasture, and Putnam. So a very diversified attack for the Buckeyes in their most recent victory.
Got a chance.
A nice job bringing it back into play.
They're getting really nice play. Great defense.
Huge dive. Clears the scoreboard.
Another fight.
Joust won by number 5, Noah Plattfoot out of Hillard, Ohio. What a long rally. Ohio State, you can say they really needed that one to stay close. You can say striking distance in the second set.
Shout out to Jimmy Meinhardt. Defense 2 times in that rally.
Another joust opportunity, but deciding to keep it all the way through. Nice job bringing it back in play is Pasture, and Hawks might end up using the second timeout.
He was looking to see if the ball was in or out. So, but he also knows it's another float server where Putnam now has gone to the float. This time he spins it.
Back past the end line.
So you see the Pasture-Van Buren matchup again. I'm just excited for that, to see just 2 high-level players doing a really nice job tonight. Now let's see if Ohio State still stays with Quick and Vic, or they use Pasture on the outside.
Is that going out of play? Oh my goodness. So they are claiming near pin. Coach Hawk's not happy at all about that call.
I think there's going to be a discussion here about that ball being played. It looked like he played the ball.
Yeah, you got to talk me through this one, Ray, because it's not often you see Coach Hawks get that animated.
Well, I'm wondering if the ball gets played outside the antenna. There's the dig. So the ball is played outside the antenna. Van Buren plays the ball back up, and when he plays that ball, I think he brings it back into no, it looks like it's played outside the antenna.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you look at it, Oakley, I can't imagine a feasible way it goes outside to inside to outside.
Yeah,
I mean, it'd have to curve.
Well, so my guess is that they're going to say it went outside to inside, somewhere in there. Whether that's right or not, I don't think it's going to be subjective to try to challenge.
Okay, fair. I mean, you can't in that circumstance, so nonetheless, you know what? Like we say, Ray, serendipitous moment, Loyola within 3.
And again, for the Ramblers, just to be able to play the next play. That's all you can do. Again, Loyola's one of their top servers is serving now in Reed. I didn't mean to do that.
We won't call it a jinx. It's okay.
No. But it's still, for the Ramblers, handling the first contact's really important. Another jump floater coming.
These teams shared a piece of the 2023 MEVA regular season crown last year. Boy, oh boy, we got a heavyweight battle here tonight.
Yeah, that's a big swing there from Van Buren, high over the block to score. That ball you don't touch. Good action here for both sides offensively. More quick.
Hook back up. Dean Meyer with good awareness. Meyer frustrated with himself. That one falls just on the line.
I'll tell you, I like the energy and the courage from Van Buren on that swing.
Okay.
It's a swing. It ends up being a stuff block, but I thought he tried to take the ball higher than he has before, and he didn't hit into the seam of the block.
Out of play. Pastor delivering a crushing blow, but Ramblers fans on their feet.
Van Buren's in a position right now. He can go for it. You know, and you look for Pastor out of the back row somewhere in there.
And ace. Gentile blowing the roof off. Ramblers tied at a set apiece.
Teams are here again. A lot of boys teams that are here representing.
Yep.
The students are here doing a really nice job. It's a great vibe and a wonderful venue.
And getting the first kill of set number 3, Pasture. Let's talk about Coach Birch, what he was going through in that nice little break between 2 and 3. Is it more so him just saying, hey, do it what you know, go back to what we did in set 1? Do you make any adjustments?
Well, I think the first thing is being able to settle themselves in a little bit, and you know, a lot of the things were self-inflicted, to be honest.
Quick 2-0 lead for the Buckeyes.
So we saw this same storyline in set number 1.
A quick one over the middle, nice quick. Well, it just didn't really make that adjustment. I don't know if it was the help didn't come in. Dean Meyer kind of talking to his teammates. Maybe he was expecting help on that near side.
I think that's where Dean's going to learn that when you get a chance to put the ball down, you put it down.
Yep.
Period.
Near side, blocked back. Knocked off the side of the cranium of Reed. It is 4-0 for the Buckeyes.
And again, it's really the first contact. You might see a sub here.
And we are, so good call with that. McElliott is checking in, giving a quick break to Schobel.
So, and that might be a way of not calling a timeout, calling a timeout.
Okay.
You know, see Putnam going back to serve now.
Going far pin. There's Dean Meyer.
That's better.
As he said, let's bleep and go.
Right, and that's how you learn.
Yeah.
You know, there's no, the couple plays earlier where Meyer had that same situation, kind of took it for granted, and Plattfoot let him learn real quick that he's got the experience to go play against him. That time, Meyer used his height and everything else to win.
The lefty tries to deliver just out of play. Point for the Buckeyes. Subbing in is Justin Howard. Do you change your sub? We saw it already with Coach Hawks, but how often do you use a substitution as a, you know, like you said, a glorified timeout?
Well, you only get 6.
Okay.
6 subs, in the college men's game. So it's really important to understand when you're going to use a sub, it's got to be for a good purpose.
Yeah.
That really wasn't the purpose they were looking for, but a nice job by Hawks to go out there and find something that's going to help them, you know. And we talked about it before where the Ramblers have had goodness in depth for the setting position.
Yeah. Service error just out of play. One thing I appreciate Coach Hawks has said throughout, you know, the 2 years I've known him is he never tells his players to slow down from the service line.
No.
Keep swinging, keep doing your thing. You know, that's the part of the men's game that just happens anyway, so.
Just managing.
Yeah.
Managing situation. You know, for someone like Meyer, who goes back to serve, his serve is usually pretty consistent. And that time, again, the serving is the one skill you have full control over. And you want to be able to have a good routine, understand what you're trying to do, good approach, good footwork, good arm contact, and good purpose when you're trying to serve.
Just past that end line, Van Buren trying to deliver.
So now, again, you're kind of that spot where Loyola did a really nice job in set number 2, playing cleaner volleyball. Yeah. It wasn't the cleanest, but they did a better job managing through their situation. Missing serves is going to put more pressure on their side out.
Pasture keeps it short. Reverse hit by McElliott. Falling away, not able to get there was Fabakovic, and we might have a timeout soon by Coach Hawks. Things aren't kind of clicking right now at Loyola. It's not that there's anything glaring. It's just, things are pinballing the opposite way.
It's first contact. So ball wants to get past in a situation where McElliott has multiple hitters available.
Pasture on a play, so nice point for the Ramblers.
And understand where the ball doesn't have to be perfect for a setter to run the offense, but you for sure want to be as trying to stay away from being predictable.
Sure. How do you practice, out of rotation plays?
Out of system stuff is it's another. That ball still in.
Left hand, huge tool kill. Number 9, McElliott, bring out the chainsaw.
McElliott is another one of those setters that can swing and snap on a ball.
Yeah.
Right? And you have two experienced coaches that are going to train every situation as much as they possibly can, rehearse as much as they possibly can, so when the players are involved and the lights come on, then they've seen that situation before.
Okay.
How to handle it when it's out of system, when it's in system, scores, all those kind of things.
Howard now, out of Palisades Charter High School, floats it right into the net.
Yeah, now Ramblers want to try to do their best win, especially when Pasture's in the back row, to try to find a way to get some points. But you also got to remember that Pasture also hits the big.
Yep.
There it is.
And there it is.
Yeah.
No, what else are you going to say? You predicted that was going to happen. Much appreciated.
It's just trends.
Yeah.
It's the trends in the game, how the match is evolving, what's worked really well for Ohio State. The jump floats worked really well for them, and also the quick and big.
McElliott delivering.
McElliott's just a talented player.
Yeah. Well, you talked about, or you spoke how earlier in this set, Coach Hawks rotated him in with one of those substitutions, and he's delivering on that move. Back set, down and in.
A lot of times, when you change quarterbacks, right? It's going to be a different look.
Yeah.
Change point guards, the pitcher-catcher combination. When you change setters in volley, usually one setter sets a certain way, another setter sets another way. The Rambler setters have a level of consistency, for the most part, where you don't really notice a difference between the two.
No, what I was going to say is I appreciate how you mentioned the, we'll talk about it more after this rally. Using the far pin, just a bit out. Fist bump by Coach Birch. He really wanted that point.
You might see a timeout here from Coach Hawks. Maybe he only has one left. I know that situation, but
there indeed is. Maybe he heard you, Ray.
No.
Timeout. Tied. One set apiece.
And ideally, you want to have at least 3 options, if not 4.
Joust. Meyer pokes it up with the left-hand uppercut. Another opportunity. Dean Meyer resets the offense. Big kill. Bangarang. Ramblers back to within 3.
And again, that's probably one of the better transition runs we've seen from the Ramblers tonight. Good rhythm there. Nice job first contact from Meyer. Gets the fake on the quick, or gets the draw, on the quick, and runs the Bick.
Far pin. Block couldn't converge in time. Diving in was Poole. A moment too late. Ramblers within 2.
Nice job by Fabakovic handling that tight set. Doing a really good job of attacking the hands, the flat foot. You see a timeout here from Ohio State.
You called it, Ray. Kevin Birch needs a timeout for the Buckeyes. We'll keep it here. Nice composure for the Ramblers. That just shows that, the veteran leadership of the team, showing that, we're going to keep our composure regardless that we're down a bit, because I think
against the rotation 1 of Loyola.
Hits the tape and bounces back in. Reed not able to deliver.
one of those rare misses from Reed. And you talk about it, serves after timeout.
Yep.
Those kind of things.
Is it something you talked about with your team ever, or is it just...
No, you try to stay away from it.
Okay.
I mean, you talk about the routine.
Okay.
Talking like, hey, don't miss your serve. It's really about what your routine's going to be.
Stay in or out. They're going to say it stayed in. Line judge.
That's a great
right
swing.
on it. Great swing, great call. Confidence.
Pastor handles the first contact. Plattfoot slots it outside. Takes it outside the edge of Van Buren to score.
Not to mention, we saw in the replay, McElliott making contact. Buckeyes back to a 4-point lead. Halfway through the third, but breaking through to the other side. The Blurs within 3.
So Fabrakovic kind of created his mess in that situation. The pass was off the net. Got one of those passes where only he's going to get set. So he did a nice job of hitting the edge, finding the edge of Plattfoot to score that point. And that's back-to-back serving errors now for Meyer. And again, I think it's just routine. Being able to just, take a deep breath, center yourself, go up there and serve the serve you're able to serve right now in that situation.
Quiet evening so far for Noah Plattfoot. He's in to serve. Here's side. And that, I believe, hit off the dome of Justin Howard.
That's a nice swing. I think it is. I think it caught his hand.
Okay.
But either way, it was a nice swing from Van Buren. Just the thing that Shovel wants to remember is trying to find the quick. Find ways to use the quick to their advantage because they can bring the Bick in later on.
Van Buren up to 7 kills. Ace is the place for Parker Van Buren.
Again, Ramblers, when they've been able to control their situation, they've done a nice job. Now Ohio State goes to 4 receivers.
I do appreciate in our conversation with Coach Birch, he was saying, giving us a nice little lesson on analytics. And Ray, if you want to explain the patented number 63, he was telling us.
Yeah, for servers, and the coaches again at the highest levels are able to use metrics and understand how it has effect. It seems for players that are serving balls consistently around 63 miles an hour, with pace has had the most success. We talked about Pastor serving the ball 80 miles an hour, but can Pastor do that every single time, as you see a miss right now? So Ohio State does a drill where they're seeing how many times players can serve a ball as consistent as they can around that 63, mile an hour threshold. Yeah.
What would you say has been the biggest change in serving over, let's say, the past 10 years?
Aggressiveness.
Okay.
I mean, just flat out, everything about the game right now on the men's side and the women's side is just bigger, stronger, and faster.
Yeah. Breaking through to the other side. McElliott kind of turned around. Nice attack by the Buckeyes. Lead back up to 3.
When I played eons ago, touching 10 feet was a big deal. And we had some guys who touched 11 feet, 11, 2 or 3, and it was great. I touched at a pretty good level. For my height, it was all right. Now, if you're not touching 11 feet, you better have some really good skill.
Yep.
There are guys touching 12 feet.
Yeah.
And, those guys aren't just your middles or your best athletes. I mean, those are your setters sometimes.
Yep.
So, just athletic excellence is just really amazing.
One thing that I recently saw in our studying of the game at Ohio State during their home games, certain players have a serving song, like a walk-up song.
Yeah.
What would yours be?
I don't even know. I think
I don't mean to put you on the spot. I thought that's quite interesting.
No, mine would change by the week, I feel. You know what I'm saying? I think the Ramblers have that as well.
Oh, okay.
I think. I hear people talk about how, hey, this person's song, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm busy, doing the match. But again, those are all things that are kind of cool to help the vibe of the match,
Yeah. Serving now is McElliott. Oh, nice pass over the middle. Good return by Oakley. From the pick. Boom goes the dynamite. Ramblers within 1.
That big from McElliott to Fabrakovic was not in the best rhythm, but it ended up working out. And there's a lot of trust in that. Did a nice job of being able to work on it together. Fabakovic does a nice job taking the ball to area 1 to score.
Misguided pass. D. Meyer, that one kind of floats. That's going to be a point for the Ramblers. We're tied at 18.
So the situation we have right now is the ball got played off of Putnam.
Yep.
But there's going to be a challenge potentially about the net violation from Parker Van Buren.
Okay.
Where when he was in the net, he was outside of the antenna. Now, this is going to be the situation to see where if they consider the outside of the antenna out of bounds, just like if you hit the antenna, if you hit the pole or not.
Let's take a look here, Ray. Talk us through it.
Right, ball hits Putnam. When the ball gets played right now, Van Buren is outside of the he's outside of the antenna, which makes him out of bounds, and that wouldn't be a violation.
Trying to answer back. Coach Birch trying to cheer the team on. He is going to take that. When you have multiple freshmen being key contributors for the Ramblers,
Right.
it takes a little bit of time to get into the groove, you know, but there's a reason they're ranked. The reason both these teams are ranked. Again, when I got the call, I got to be here with you today. I'm like, oh, ranked volleyball? Okay.
I mean,
I'm in.
This is easily the best seat.
Oh.
You know, even with the fans we have back behind us, and you probably hear them as we're in the match right now. It's awesome to have them here.
Set to the far side. Buckeyes can't keep it up. Ramblers need 5.
All right. So now, again, Pastors in the front row. The only person that really haven't seen a lot of in this situation would be Wetzel back behind. See if he gets involved.
Looking for the quick one. Just palming it up was Oakley, but not able to get underneath it enough to angle it back into play, tied at 20.
Gonna continue the hot hand there with the middle for Ohio State. Young with a nice swing. Young's so athletic. Like there are a lot of times if you get a chance to watch on video or even in the match, you see from the end line, he's so high above the net.
Tooney, the righty. Buckeyes setting up their offense. Picked up back row Reed. Soft over the triple. Buckeyes setting up their offense. Tips, goes far side. And the Buckeyes regain the lead by 1.
That's your All-American right there.
Yep. Let me ask you this. When you're receiving the serve, lefty versus righty, that big of a difference?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, especially for the area of the court. So you see Tooney serves from a location which is pretty common for players, middle or right of the court.
Back set. Tool through. Buckeyes can't keep it alive. Things getting louder and louder, and Gentile. My goodness.
And, you know, that time, as Meyer was coming, he was looking to see from Coach Hawks. He's like, hey, man, you got a sub for me?
Yeah.
And so here comes Mangan in.
You know, and again, Dan Mangan, one of the better players for Loyola throughout his career, but, you know, kind of easing back into things.
Most definitely. And he changes to a jump float.
That stays in. Mangan.
There's going to be a challenge.
I do appreciate, I don't know if anybody caught that at home. Coach Birch looked over at Coach Hawks and smiled and said, on a challenge, and Hawks just laughed right back at him and said, okay.
Got it, right? So look and see, Mangan goes in on his serve.
Look at that, 0 rotation almost. Great camera work by the crew here today.
That ball's out. So.
But again, within that match last night, it might have set a record for most review or longest review time.
Oh, yeah.
So I appreciate the crew here today. Not that they had any, you know, they were a great crew last night. Quick to the point today, in, out, all right, move on. But something to keep in mind, and you know this as well, Ray, not all software is the same at every
Correct.
school. So,
and how it's operated and where the cameras are located.
Correct.
And the cameras, right? So I know right now they're looking to make sure that the score is correct inside Gentile Arena. Because right now it's showing 22-all, but it's 22-21 for Ohio State.
yeah.
Bigger folks.
Okay, so score has been corrected. Again, excellent job by the staff. I always take the mindset, doesn't matter how long it takes, get the call right, get the points right, and Loyola comes out and ties it anyway.
And both coaches understand that, where they're not going to make it an issue to worry about the pace of it, because the officials here are going to try to do their best to get it right. Again, now good matchup here for Van Buren with Pasture back behind. Great defense.
That one way pinballs into the crowd. People fighting for it, my goodness.
And that time, big rally won by the Ramblers, and we've seen a lot of those rallies earlier won by Ohio State.
You're right, and not only that, but early in the season for the Ramblers, you would see it going the opponent's way.
Right.
So this is a circumstance where, you know, should Loyola come away with this set, I mean, that's showing resolve that they've really started developing this season as we are in conference play. Service error out of play. And here comes a sub coming back in as Wetzel. You called it a few points ago.
And again, you talked about, you know, the sub, which is kind of like your mini timeout. And just changed the view of it. Now you got McGilligan again in the front row. Now he's also very offensive, so if the ball is played tight, don't be surprised if he turns and swings on it. See Pasture here. Will he try to take something off in his serve or go to it, or go for it, excuse me.
Pasture out of play. Loyola at set point.
Now that ball just missed on the end line, and gives the set point here for Loyola. Again, you're looking for Pasture still to be involved, or Wilson Howard's been involved on the quick a lot. So let's see if he's going to also be involved.
On the float. There's that quick. You called it right. We're going to extras.
All right. So, play rally scoring. Teams at 25.
Yep.
Win by 2. More specialists coming now for Ohio State.
Yeah, Owen Pickering coming in out of Ottawa, Ontario.
So let's see if it's his first time in tonight. Let's see if he goes with either a jump float or if he goes with a top spin serve.
Power serve.
Back set. Great set.
Falling back onto the side of the Buckeyes. Pasture delivers.
Nice job. Let's see, we're going to see if the ball played. I think Coach Hawk's going to talk about if the ball played on the same side. If it goes across.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, talk me through it, Ray.
So there's a timeout for you from Loyola. And what Coach Hawk.
Pickering. To the near side, that stays in.
All right.
We continue on.
Stars are going to be stars.
Yep.
And, you know, Ramblers McGilligan does a nice job locating that ball for Van Buren. See Jack Yentz coming in now to hopefully use his jump serve and more importantly, probably his defense, even though Meinhardt had a couple nice digs in the last set. So it's really important for Yentz and any player to have a good routine. You saw Pickering do a nice job for Ohio State, step in, have a good routine, no matter when he enters in the match.
Sure. Jack Yentz out of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, floats it near side. Down to a knee is the set. Yentz keeps it alive. Reed, just a poke over. Left hand off the double, back row.
Not a Van Buren. Oh. Nice job.
Oh my goodness. Dean Meyer, take it.
Yes, indeed. Sometimes better be lucky than good.
Yeah.
I thought in that situation, I thought that Van Buren was going to get set there. That's what I said a little bit earlier, and I apologize. All right, so again, looking for Pasture to be involved. Yentz did a nice job having good rhythm on his last serve.
Breaking the floorboards. Jake Pasture says, I'm not done.
It should be no surprise to anyone.
Yes.
So, and I think for that, in that situation, you know, it might be important for someone like Meyer to get his hands across. Pash doesn't attack that ball really high, but he attacks it very physically, most definitely. So now let's see for the Ramblers, where do you see Van Buren? Does he hit it now out of the bic, or does he come back behind?
There's Reed. The king of Sting, the master of disaster, the Count of Monte Fisto. Shout out Apollo Creed, Carl Weathers.
Okay, looking for pasture. Green pasture, I guess, excuse me. Sorry, that's bad.
We continue on.
Nice.
Oakley, not happy, but again, he wasn't out of position.
No, just a better swing by Young.
Yeah.
Young again hits it at just such a high level, at a high point. Well, it was out.
Reed delivers, but able to be returned by Poole. Uppercut Reed. D. Meyer. Not able to get there. McElliott. Buckeyes now back on top.
Putnam with a nice serve in that last rally. Yeah, I didn't think the whistle was blown
Yeah,
yet.
I didn't think we were okay.
And you saw that time Putnam changed kind of to a jump float or kind of a hybrid. So the Ramblers might get an idea of what he might try to show as he serves this ball. That's it.
Ducking out of the way was Oakley. It kisses the back line. He is quite upset with himself. Buckeyes come away victorious on an ace. We'll take a timeout when we come back. What a set through.
Is getting aced.
Yeah.
And so Oakley has to do a good job picking his head back up. It's one play, kind of move on. That's not the reason why the match is won or lost. There's another opportunity here to do some pretty good things.
If you're the Ramblers right now and Coach Hawks, are you making any adjustments, or you're saying like we were a swing away? That's how you want things to start if you are the Ramblers, but we were a swing away from us being up 2-1.
Well, the Ramblers right now are going back to the rotation one, and they've stayed pretty consistent in that neighborhood, starting off in neither 6-1. McElliott stays in to play. He ends up with an ace now for the Ramblers to go up 2-0.
Sure, they're happy about that one.
So now set 4 has a similar face to set 2, just like set 1 and 3 kind of had a similar face as far as the early starts from the teams.
McElliott coming into today had 7 service aces on the season. You know, both these coaches, more of a calm demeanor. Ray, what was it like with you pacing the sidelines? Not as calm?
You know what? In my early days, when I was younger, I played every point, and maybe at that time it was okay. But just you see how many more coaches now are cerebral and consistent, and that goes a long way for the players.
That one falls in. Quick 3-1 lead for the Ramblers.
Parker Van Buren with a cross court boom shakalaka.
Oh, that's a net Vio. I shortened it. I just went with it. Is that acceptable? I was having a conversation yesterday. Somebody said, what's your favorite part about broadcasting volleyball? I said, it's all the nuances that you get to say, and it's completely normal. Like violation, campfire, dump.
Nice job there.
Trying to reach for it was Wetzel. Just like that, 4-1. And it seems to be the theme, whether it's Ohio State or Loyola, one of the teams really comes out hot in each and every set.
Right.
Mark that 5-1 now for the Ramblers.
Coach Birch thought about calling the timeout.
High back set. Block back into play. And they're going to say Ramblers called for the net. Coach Hawks getting very verbal at this point.
Talking about the lift in a situation where You know, maybe it could have been a judgment call, but officials throughout the country this year have been fairly consistent in letting guys play.
I agree. I would agree with that sentiment. Oh, nice up by Pasture. That violation called, still going out of play is Platt. But just to chime in on that, and again, Ray, you know, I started my broadcasting career when you were still coaching. I 100% agree with those sentiments. 15 years ago, you saw a lot more lifts. You saw a lot more doubles called. And right now, it's, hey, let them play out. It's such a close call. And I'm sure as a coach, you appreciate them letting him play on.
You are. I mean, you do. And I think, you know.
As long as it's consistent.
Yeah, for the purists, you know. I mean, you'll see Ohio State call a timeout here. We'll talk more about it when we come back.
7-2 your score. Ramblers over. The Buckeyes will return on NBC Sports Chicago.
No, and again, it's just a testament to both teams right now battling. And it's really just been each set's been a different storyline.
That hits up off the netting that separates the court during practice time, but playing on. Pasture gets blocked. Oh my goodness. Ramblers say thank you. Next. 8-2.
See more Pasture involved now as the Buckeyes become, you know, a little bit more desperate in this situation where they need to get out of this rotation. You can see on good pass Howard being involved.
And that quiets down the crowd. I mean, the crowd was in a fever leading up to that. And that's got to play a big part in it, too. I mean, if you're a home Ramblers player, you got to love how passionate your fan base is.
It is. And then, you know, again, you go back specifically to a player like Meyer being able to control this spot. Nice set from McGilligan.
Near side, my goodness. The thunder rolls and the lightning strikes. Fabakovic delivers.
So for the Ramblers tonight, a lot of times you would see their combination come out of the back row. So you might see Reed on the Bick. Tonight, we're seeing with McGilligan setting, there's more action to the pin. And the middles for Ohio State have to respect the quick. And it's harder for them to get outside to block the ball on the pin.
Nice jump set. Oh, what a set. Noah Plattfoot. I mean, that textbook. I hate to sound cliche, Ray, but that is a textbook set.
It's just a great play in rhythm.
Yeah.
And that's what both teams are looking for. They're able to get a good first contact, have lots of options, and then set the right person at the right time.
Out of play. Jake Reed just lowering his head, bringing the arms down.
So you see some of the higher air now from Ohio State, like we saw from Loyola early in this match, where just momentum, as you talk about it, can be a thing, and it can affect both teams.
I had somebody ask me pregame, you know, what are your thoughts on this upcoming evening's matchup? I said, don't be shocked if it goes 5 when they're this good and know this much about each other. No touch. Pasture sends that out of play. A very lopsided set 4 so far, 11-4.
Well, seeing runs like this from Loyola at times against PFW earlier in the week, they had runs in sets 2 and 3. Well, again, comes from their serve. It's kind of hard for Pasture to be able to pass and swing the Bick in that situation. You might see it again.
Almost an up opportunity for PVB.
So again, you saw for the Ramblers that time, McGilligan got caught looking at the play in the middle. Ball got set outside to Putnam.
Did you come up with that PVD?
No, not me.
Okay,
No,
I like that. Well, shout out to our director and producers back there. That's fun. You know what you could do, Ray? You can put that on a T-shirt.
Can I get a shirt, for sure.
Nice maroon color.
Coming to a place near you. 100%.
I'd buy it. Oh, can't get the right paw up in time. Number 6, Shane Wetzel. Are they being strategic and aiming toward Wetzel? I feel they are sometimes.
It's the area of the court more than the person.
All right.
You know, they're attacking Plattfoot outside of his body. The ball is set inside. Ohio State's done the same thing where we saw earlier. Pasture hit a really good ball past Van Buren down the line. So it's just again, like, the teams have similarity to them.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of things that are similar. So let's see if Meyer can get set here.
And Putnam was in for the serve. Side bump on the free ball. Let's see what Ohio State can do. Bringing it down with the left hand. Are you okay? Did it hit your shoulder? You got it? Okay, all right.
I'm good.
Safety first, Ray.
Yep. Teamwork here. Gotcha. Thanks.
I had a coach tell me once, teamwork makes the dream work. Did you ever use that adage?
You know what? I've heard it once or twice, or a gazillion times. But yes, that's 4 contacts. You might see a timeout here from Coach Hawks.
I mean,
Settle down.
Yeah, 11-4 at one point. Nice 4-1 run for the Buckeyes. And like you said, usually if you get 4 points in a row by either team, that's a timeout. But having this much of a lead, it may be a situation where they're going to let it play maybe 1 more point. So let's see what happens. Back dump attempt to no avail. This time, Pastor is saying it's all him.
Yeah, rare error from Pastor that time. McGilligan tried to do kind of the back dump we saw from Strobel earlier.
Yeah.
Ball stuck in his hand a little bit. Gave the Buckeyes a chance to score and get it even closer.
Taking his time, McElliott. Crushing left-hand serve with the ace. McElliott delivers yet again.
McElligot's doing a really nice job. It's fun to watch him play. It's fun to watch all the setters really step in and play for the Ramblers. Doing a really nice job of running the floor.
McElliott, his second ace of the evening. That one just goes out of play. But like you said, or you stated a few moments ago, Ray, they really just aimed for a place on the court, just a bit too far that time around.
Most definitely.
14-9, 5-point lead for the Ramblers, trying to send it to 5. Crowd was in a frenzy as things started out in this set. Ramblers now slowly but surely, they're 10 points away from taking set 4 and sending it to 5. Back at the line now, number 7, Jake Reed. Reed, the freshman out of Newport Harbor High in California. Nice up.
Good job, Oakley.
Poole gets enough on it.
And still swing.
Oh, they're saying Ohio State gets point, net violation called on Dean Meyer.
Yeah, we talked. No,
Or was it? Or excuse
no,
me.
at that time it ended up. The ball ended up in front of Deem. That's what we talked earlier about how there, situations where Deem just has to work on getting his hands across the net. Where he can do that, he can cover more space and be okay. That ball, that time his hands are a little high.
That's why they keep you around, Ray. You see those things that I don't.
Every once in a while.
Point right back from Flatfoot.
Even without glasses, I'm still doing okay.
I did recently, my last eye doctor appointment, they said it is time. I said, time for what? They prescribed some readers. So don't need it for far, but nonetheless, timeout going to be called. 17-10. I always call this the point of no return. Meaning that this is the point where if you're the Ramblers, you got to finish up strong.
Yes,
if you're Ohio State, this is it. You got to come back now. You got to get some 2-for-1s.
Right, and we saw that earlier with the Ramblers where it was a 17-10, run timeout. I thought you'd get a little bit of momentum back, but, again, the teams are just, in those moments right now, the teams are doing a good job when things are good for them. So important.
Talk to me through what you do in that day between, we asked Coach Birch and, they drove up, had a practice last night, walked through today. Is it hard to schedule the timing of everything?
Well, a lot of times teams work out these schedules before they can make their adjustments afterward.
Okay.
Nice dig.
Dean Myers sets it up to the net. Buckeyes keep it alive. Falling away. Fist pump. Giving it Jimmy Meinhardt. Dropping the anvil. 18-10.
That's one of the best plays by the Ramblers with the net. Meinhardt and Van Buren did a really nice job of getting their hands over fast enough and sealing the net to make it the stuff block.
On the back set. Oh, nice job keeping it alive. Pulling the trigger, but falling away. kind of a mishandled play. It's got to be so hard, whether it's here, whether it's other arenas or stadiums, Ray, where, you know, it hits a rafter, because it's one thing from the fan. Okay, we're off to the side. When you are directly underneath it and it's falling down, it's got to be so hard to read.
For the old heads, the old Loyola Rambler friends and fans from the day in Alumni Gym, in the old brown box that rocks, there would be 60% of the balls that are being played tonight would hit the top.
Yeah.
And you know, that was a thing where the Rambler team would probably get at least 4 or 5 plays, maybe per game, and because of just how the ball bounced.
Yeah.
And you know, you get bigger arenas, but even the big arenas still, the ceiling comes into play.
Block back, Buckeyes set up their offense. Back row, Reed. High set. And not able to run it down is Pasture. And just like that, the Ramblers, within striking distance, lead at 9.
Well, let me tell you how that play really started off. It's from Van Buren's serve to Pasture. Pasture has to lay out to pass the ball well enough that takes him out of an approach pattern in the back row. And then from then on, the Ramblers had an opportunity to be a little bit, I guess, in the advantage.
That one stays in. An ace for Loyola. Double-digit lead. Biggest lead of the game for either team.
Stars are here to play tonight. Most definitely. Great serve by Van Buren to take that ball down the line. Untouchable.
If you're Coach Burke, do you put some subs in just to finish out this set?
Well, he's got one in right now. He's got Pickering on the outside. You'll see. And I think at no time do you want to concede.
Okay.
You know, and now, let me take that back.
Okay.
For Ohio State, this is the second match of their road swing. And so if they kind of know that, you know what, they're going to have to kind of gear up for the last set, maybe. But really, it's come down to who's ever had the best start.
Yeah.
That's all it's been. And when the team serving has, I think, I could be wrong on this, but, you know, we saw Putnam with runs multiple times.
That one out of play. Buckeyes get another one. Hey, I've seen comebacks larger than this, so I like how you phrase that, Ray. You know, you never want to concede. You never want, especially in a matchup like this, a conference battle, 2 ranked teams.
Right.
We've seen it all in our time. Tooney delivers. Out of play again.
This is where we might see a timeout. Either a timeout or a challenge.
And here indeed is the, looks like you've done this before. Challenge on the court.
Well, Coach Hawks has got to think too, maybe, where, you know, it's they're thinking ahead about Fabakovic now has had, I think, 3 errors in a row. If this goes the way of the Buckeyes, you know, do you call a timeout after that? Do you look for a sub? Do you bring in someone like, you know, Colton Brooks to kind of just help kind of weather the storm and get Fabakovic back in his spot, because he's played, along with Reed, just played a really solid level of volleyball tonight.
Yeah, it doesn't look like, from this vantage point, that there was a touch. They'll probably take another look. Just to remind everybody at home, the officials do have different camera angles than we are allotted here on the broadcast feed. So they have, you know, net cams, wide cams, up cams, left cams, right cams. So
yeah, that, I mean, right now, NCAA tournament things and just been around it, and it's great that they're here from Chicago.
Tool kill off to the side. Ramblers bust out the saw. They need 3.
So when in doubt, the Ramblers go to their star, and Van Buren steps in, makes a nice play on the back set from McGilligan.
Yeah. Something else to keep in mind, if you saw on the near side, Justin Howard out of the game has a modality on. He has what looks like a back therapy heat pad. Not quite sure the technicalities of what he's wearing, but nonetheless, something to keep in mind. Keep him warm and ready for what is going to happen likely in 2 points, and that's a 5th and decisive set.
If we're playing trends right now, Pickering hasn't been set much on the outside. You can see Wetzel potentially get set along with Young in the middle.
Nice up by Oakley.
That's a great set from McGilligan.
Wow, wow, wow. Ramblers lead back to 10, 1 point away from sending it to 5.
I will say the one strength that McGilligan has is that he loves to get his hands on balls. And he does a really nice job off the triple block, running that ball down, putting his hands on it to set a great set to Van Buren.
Out of play. Loyola convinced.
Best.
You know, he's had the level of impact that you want. Not too much, and not where he sticks out for the negative.
The Ramblers able to set up their attack on the free ball. Absolutely killer instinct right now for Loyola.
You know, if there's been one concern probably for Ohio State throughout the year, has been just the staying power, you know, where Pastor's got to go throughout the entire match and be able to lead it. And be involved every single time is really hard. Great touch by Van Buren.
At the pick, Fabakovic. Thank you, come again. Another killer point, 5-0 for the Ramblers.
Starts with a great touch from Van Buren on that swing on the outside of Putnam. Touches the ball up in the air. Leads to good transition on the pick for the Ramblers to score.
You know, one thing Coach Burke said to us as Ohio State gets their first point, when we talked to him this week, he said, look, early on in the season, we were playing with fear. We had more errors. It wasn't like ourselves. He said we needed to get back to an attack mindset. And it just shows, Ray, you know this, how much of a mental game this is.
Most definitely.
Falling away, high up by Poole. Blocked down. Stop, drop. Hold him down.
I guess open up shop, huh? Right
Thank
on.
you, thank you.
Right on. So earlier in the match, there was a situation where Pastor had 4 hands up, and he was able to score inside of Van and in front of Meyer. That time, wow. We'll keep talking here in a second.
Oh my goodness.
It doesn't stop right now for the Ramblers.
Yeah.
So the play before that great play was, maybe, let's see if there's a timeout. The situation when Pastor that time had another set of hands come in front of him, that was Van Buren that let the stuff block.
I'm almost surprised there wasn't that timeout, as we'll see what happens here, but coming away with this Ohio State. And the only reason I say this is something you have taught me through the years, Ray, and our time working together is don't be afraid to take that timeout right before the side switch, because it's, you know, giving you 2 little timeouts.
True, but now the biggest part you're going to have is that they need to be done.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was great for Ohio State to get that side out.
Yeah, the difference being that would have been Ohio State's second timeout already in this set. Okay, all right, that's fair.
That's D. Meyer's first kill. Oh, no, I'm wrong. I apologize. His 4th kill. Excuse me.
That's okay. First kill in the 5th set. How about that?
Yeah, right on.
And here is indeed that rotation. Again, it was a 2-1 lead for Ohio State, but keep in mind, I mean, it's so close in set number 3. But Loyola with the big Mo in their corner, that being momentum. Ray, how do they keep that momentum going to finish out this 5th set?
Well,
besides doing exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, and I think when you're not playing the score, you have a chance of still playing at a high level.
Okay.
When you start to worry about the score and see, oh, they're getting closer, then that's when things get a little tight for you.
As we see now, Jack Jens is going to come in, give a breather to Dean Meyer.
So Jens came in earlier to serve for Meinhardt. We saw Mangan come in to serve for Meyer earlier in the last set. And now in the 5th set, you're going to see these specialists come in a lot faster.
That's why always in our conversations with coaches, I always love to ask about the specialists, because that's how you twofold. 1, keep players that may not get a lot of playing time involved, but 2, allow them to really hone in and say, okay, I want you to do this. This is your role this season. Become the best you can be at it. And that just gives you an opportunity later on. 9-2 is your score. Ramblers, they are 6 away, Ray. Let's flip to it's not just this natural athleticism, which of course we know he has, but he continues to work at it. But let's see how the working of Jack Jens has been at the service line yet again. here in set 5. Floats it with the right. At the net. Keeping alive is Poole. High off the return.
That's a big swing.
That is a very big swing.
You know, that swing, most Buckeyes would want 2 points on that swing, but only get 1.
Yep.
And there's some frustration in it. And now this is where the Ramblers really have to temper themselves down and play consistent volleyball.
High off the double block and not able to get there is Putnam.
And that's the ball that Fabakovic wanted. You know, we talked about it before. He went through a stretch where he had 3 errors in a row. Takes that ball high off the block.
Ramblers swept Purdue Fort Wayne just a few days ago. 5 away from a thrilling 5-set victory against Ohio State. That can be a momentum builder for the rest of the year.
Yeah, their home opener here in the MIVA for sure. That's a
Block
great job.
back. My goodness.
We talked about it before where the Buckeyes had not used the quick much in a couple sets. That time Meinhardt did a really good job. Didn't commit, but did a really good job of reading the set, having good hands to get across the net fast for the stuff block.
A service ace. See, that's another thing to keep in mind. For as powerful as these two teams are, not a lot of service aces.
No, I mean, it's really a testament to the teams, their ability to touch the ball in first contact.
Yeah.
There might be some service winners. You know, you'll see what Pastor does here in this spot, how much energy he has on his serve.
He sends it too far. Coach Hawks, he's pumping the crowd up, loves how much the fan base for the Ramblers are getting into it.
We'll call that a serving error assist to the fans here right behind us. And if you didn't hear them behind us, then I'm not sure what you're listening to.
You must have it on mute.
Net error there.
Wow.
And so it's spun out, you know, and so to play in Covelli is a really hard place to play, but to play in Gentile Arena is also a very tough place to play.
Yes, it is.
And everywhere you go, Worthern, I mean, you name your venue, it's going to be challenging the league this year.
Trying to get the ISO block to no avail is Meinhardt.
Putnam did a nice job there on his swing, taking the ball inside the block.
Can't lose composure for the Ramblers.
No.
Finish it off.
Handle it right now. Again, you got McGilligan, who's front row, where if the ball is played tight, he can turn and swing.
Tooney.
There it is.
Loyola gets the point. Just timing it perfectly was, oh wait, who did you say? McElliott coming in. Cole Schobel.
Schobel's going to come in as a serving sub for the middle, and he'll probably go for it. It's the lefty. We talked about it before about Steven a serve from a righty versus a lefty. That lefty gap between Pasture and Putnam's a pretty good spot to serve a ball right now.
I'm a lefty. That's why, you know, lefty
Shout
power.
out to lefties.
Shout out to lefties. Hitting into the net. Ben Putnam. That's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote. Number 13, Loyola takes down number 6, Ohio State at home, 15-5 in set number 5.
Really nice job by the Ramblers to defend home.